Now, what do you mean by living naturally? Nobody lives naturally. We all live in cities. When it gets cold out, we turn on the unnatural heat. And when the sun's too hot, we turn on the Venetian blinds. What's natural? Marriage is not natural. A guy squeezing on a girl's tits is not natural. That's trained. A girl walking the way she does is not natural. That's trained. A girl having long hair is trained, not natural. A girl having no hair is not natural. Nothing is no such thing as human nature. Humans don't have any nature at all. Depends on the way they're brought up. If I bring you up with a lot of butch tomboys climbing trees, say, fuck you, get out of my goddamn way, that's the way you'll talk. Do you believe that or you're not sure? If you were brought up in a certain area of Texas, yeah, get the goddamn nigga and beat the shit out of him. And that's the way you might talk, right? So what do you mean by individuality? I've never met an individual yet. There's no such thing. These are all myths. They're given to you to make you feel that you're something special. And who wants to make you feel that way? The control group. All people live under thought control. That's why, if those of you that are new here might fear that the ideas that I talk about might be dangerous, well, I'm going to tell you something now, that this organization is called socio-cyberneering, and it's least apt to succeed. We're not going to get anywhere, because the ideas are too difficult to accept. So don't worry about us becoming powerful. We're not. And to become powerful would really, for the first time, approximate the nearest thing to what you call freedom. Because we believe the smarter you are, the richer I am. The smarter your kids are, the richer society is. The better fed they are, the healthier they are, and the more loved they are, the less trouble in the world. Does that make sense to you? I mean less trouble in the world. The more miserable people are, the more suffering, the higher the probability of war. If he drives a car and he can't afford a brake job, he can kill you in a car where you can afford a brake job. So wherever there's poverty, insufficiency, mental institutions, prisons, we generate behavior. What I'm trying to tell you is all societies generate behavior. You go to a middle class or a poor Cuban family and tell them something new or how to work Venetian blinds or air conditioning, and they say, ah! They won't say the same. Ah! You go to New York and you talk to New York Italian kids and say, oh, fungo, in that kind of voice, too. And you go to a Negro community and say, that's right, you're right. All the same. Because if you were brought up by Negroes, that's how you talk. If they spoke like that. And if everybody talked with a, say, what's new in the world, you would talk like that. So individuality is a crock of shit with contacts we've had with others. Every book you read, every movie you saw, every symbol you had is a little bit of what we are. But, of course, I feel like an individual. When I go out and you show me 5 automobiles and I pick this one, I feel like I'm making a choice. I really do. Like if I lived 500 years ago and I thought of buying a nice car for you, I would buy something like that. You know, I really would. I'd make a down payment on it and I'd buy the thing. Because I have nothing else in my mind. I don't picture a jet aircraft. So what do I buy? I buy what exists. They say, well, you can go to the university now and study anything you want to study. That's a crock of shit. Because in the early days, when you get back, say, 500 years ago, and you went before the king and says, I'd like to study something, he said, well, you can make flaming arrows, javelins, you can hammer out armor, you have a course in that, you know, armorsmith, you can fix chariot wheels. You couldn't study anything you wanted to study. Young American kids, when they go out into the world, in the park, you see a baseball field or a football field. Some of you say, well, that's fine. That's shit. You don't see any chemistry labs for kids that love chemistry. You don't see an area where they can go and study aeronautics or the earth sciences. What can every goddamn park have music, art, science, theater, photography? How come it's always baseball and football? I'm going to give you the reason for it. To enhance aggressive behavior. To get men to grab a ball, take it away from somebody else, knock the other guy over. In case of a war or conflict, there's generated loyalty to team and aggression. But a society that really concerns itself with human beings never teaches aggression. When a brother has a sister and she trips and falls, he helps her up. He could shove her down the stairs and watch her fall the rest of the way. Now, there was something in a play called, I can think of the name of it, about the death of salesman. And in that salesman, Willie, whatever his name was, what was his name? Willie Loman? he wanted to know how his uncle succeeded, how he made so much money. I mean, he was always starving. So his uncle said, one of the uncles said, "Come on, son, let's go out in the backyard and fight." And he's boxing with the kid, and the kid hits the uncle lightly, and the uncle falls on the ground, and he says, "Gee, I hope I didn't hurt you." He says, "Never stick your hand out to a man that's down. Keep him down." That's the theory of business enterprise. You don't know that. To undersell another corporation and break their back. If you have a supermarket and you know I got $50,000 in the bank, if you sell stuff for 5 weeks or 3 months cheaper than I go out of business. So the whole theory of a shrewd businessman is to go to some Mexican plant and say, "How much would you charge to turn out these pipes?" And she says, 50 cents a piece. I said, "Make it 30 and I'll order 5,000. Make it 20 cents a piece or 15 cents a piece and I'll order 30,000. And she has to hire people for $50 a day. So a shrewd businessman fucks the existence of other people. You admire successful people in this country. They are the meanest sons of bitches that ever lived. If you go out in South Florida and buy 50 acres for $10,000 and later sell it for $70,000, they call you a good businessman. No, the values are twisted. But remember, it's easier to live with twisted values. It serves a self-interest. So if you're really self-interest centered, this is the philosophy. You go out into the world with your finger up everybody's ass and a smile, and your hand on their shoulder. But if you understand what I'm talking about, this system offers an alternative, and the alternatives in the system are quite different. Now, before I go on, do you have any questions you want to ask me? Maybe I've said things that you don't agree with.